What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Trey Sense here. Got a little video for you today, somewhat of a discussion, a review, whatever you'd like to call it. This video is on inexpensive fragrances that I think are still worth buying, because that topic comes up a lot. There are a lot of people that still rock with inexpensive fragrances for various reasons. Maybe it's because they don't want to spend hundreds of dollars on fragrances, or maybe it's just because they actually like them. Like myself, I like inexpensive fragrances, especially the ones that perform. All right, no further ado, I'm gonna get right into that. To this, tear off a little test strip here, a little spray strip, because I don't have the fancy ones. I just do it the old-fashioned way. But the first fragrance that I want to talk to you about that is a cheapie that I feel is still worth buying is Blue by Kenneth. Now, one criteria that these fragrances all have in common is they're under 20 bucks. Every single one of these fragrances can be had in under 20 bucks. Some of them in the 100 mil. Some of them you'll have to get the 50 mil to get it under 20, but you can easily get it under 20 if you shop right and get the 50 mil. And this one right here is no exception. This comes in easily under $20. If you can see it, find it. This is not one that you're going to see a lot out in the wild. You may have to get this one offline, but it does come in under 20 bucks if you get the 50 mil. And it is Kenneth Blue. And we are coming up on the season that this one will definitely be in play and should definitely be part of your cheapie rotation. Man, it smells so good. I'm trying to think of what it puts me in the line of. You know, very blue, very aquatic, just like it looks and smells. It's very blue, very aquatic fragrance, not Invictus like, not Cool Waters like. Just, man, that's tough. Just a nice, fresh, clean, crisp, not a citrusy, orangey, just a nice, crisp, clean blue fragrance that smells really, really good. I like it. Performance on it is fairly decent. I think it reminds me of Versace Eros without the irritatingness of Versace Eros. Eros is a great fragrance. It smells good, but there's something about it to me that's a little juvenile and irritating. I'm not sure what it is. This is along those lines. Antonio Banderas Blue, if you've smelled it, it's along those lines as well. Blue Seduction, I'm sorry. It's along those lines as well, but it's a great fragrance. It smells good, inexpensive, if you can see it. I'm telling you though, this is one that you won't see a lot out at the rack store, so you may have to get it online, but I definitely think it is worth purchasing. Performance on it is decent, nothing outstanding, you know, nothing mind-blowing. You're gonna get about hour and a half of projection, 2 if you've got good skin, with 3 to 4 hours of longevity. But again, with the spring and summertime coming up, that is a nice, cool, refreshing fragrance that I think you would like a lot, and you should get in your collection. It's one you can throw it in your gym bag, your locker. I had a subscriber ask me about fragrances to keep in your car. This is easily one. Just an easy reach, easy to wear type of fragrance that smells good. Still smells good, and it's definitely worth the 15. I think I paid $17.99 for that 50 mil, and it's definitely worth that. The next one is from the house of Adidas, and it is Arena Edition. Now, granted, I have stopped wearing a lot of fragrances from this house because some of them just smell really, really cheap and really, really dated, because let's face it, a lot of the cheapies have stepped their game up and they smell better than they used to. Some of the Adidas line like this, which is a newer fragrance, doesn't smell so bad. This is Arena Edition, and honestly, I like this fragrance. Now, it's a $7.99 fragrance, a $5.99 to $7.99 depending on where you get it, and that's in a 100 ml bottle. Does this smell good? I think so. What this reminds me of, it reminds me of Jupe or Yope, however you say it. In America, in Alabama, it's Jupe. I don't know about all that Yope, and that's got a J, so it makes it Jupe down here. But it reminds me of a toned down version of Jupe. It also reminds me a little bit of Mont Blanc individual. or individual, however you say it. But it reminds me, it's in that same vein. I think it's a nice smelling fragrance for the $5.99 to $7.99 that you're going to pay for the 100 ml. Again, you know, for you people that have sophisticated noses, you're not going to like stuff like this. But for you guys who still like to have inexpensive fragrances in your collection because they fit so many different avenues in your life, then this is one that I think you should get your hands on. And that is Adidas Arena Edition. Did I get that right? Yeah, Adidas Arena Edition. Good smelling fragrance, and as you see, I have worn these I wear these fragrances, guys. I say that in all my reviews because, you know, I don't want you guys to think, hey, I'm telling you to go buy this fragrance and then I don't wear it myself. I wear these fragrances because, like I said, they fit my lifestyle. Like on a day like today, it's about 60 degrees here. It's rainy. Nothing's going on with me doing these reviews. So what do I need to spray on a $70, $80 fragrance for? The next one, sticking with that same house, is Adidas Champions League. Now, as you see, I've worn this one as well, but I'm going to have to refresh my memory with this one because I don't really remember what it smells like or what it reminds me of. So I'm going to try to give you... Oh, yeah. That's nice. Okay, yeah, this smells like something that is definitely more expensive because most of the Adidas line, if you didn't know, is a clone. I can't think of what this smells like though, but I can't think of what fragrance this is trying to clone. Yeah, that smells, oh man. I don't know, maybe it'll come to me. But what I can tell you about it is, it's blue. It's definitely a bluey type fragrance, along the lines of Dylan Blue, Versace Dylan Blue. It's in those Blue de Chanel. Not so much Blue de Chanel. Definitely more Dylan Blue than Blue de Chanel. Abercrombie & Fitch First Instinct Extreme, fragrances along those lines. If you're looking for an extremely cheap version of those or a cheap version of those to buy your son or your nephew or whoever, this is definitely one that you should get your hands on. I'm going to spray it in the air just to see if it's any different than coming off that paper. Yeah, that's a nice bluey with a slight citrus. Yeah, that definitely in the blue family. That is Adidas Champion League. And again, this is a $5.99 to $7.99 fragrance. You can get these sometimes in gift sets and get the shower gel, deodorant stick and all. I definitely think this smells good enough to buy and to have if you're that type of guy that likes inexpensive fragrances. This is one that I could definitely see being an easy reach, again, for the spring and summer months coming up. Good gym bag fragrance. I'm not necessarily saying it's a gym scent. Yeah, that reminds me so much of First Extreme, or this Abercrombie & Fitch First Instinct Extreme. That reminds me so much of that. So if you're familiar with that fragrance, then Adidas Champion League is right in that wheelhouse. I think both of these are pretty good smelling fragrances for what you're going to pay for them, because you can pick them both up in 100 ml for under 50 bucks and be smelling pretty doggone good for the cheap. Okay, another one. Give me another little tester strip here that I like, and I didn't want to like it, but it smells good, and I like the wacky bottle. This is Kanye West, Whatever It Takes. I tried not to like this fragrance, but I sprayed it on and got instant reaction from the wife. She was like, "What are you wearing? That smells good." And that's not very common, especially from a fresher fragrance now. To me, this is like a clone of one of the Invictuses. I'm not sure which one, but it's in there. It's in that line. It's in that wheelhouse. It's in that realm. And this is one that you can still pick up in the stores for around $12 to $13. I know you can get it from fragrance.net for $13. That's before shipping and before taxes, but still. Yeah, and this is just, to me, it just reminds me of the Invictus line. Can't really pick out which one. I guess we could go with Aqua, but it is a good smelling fragrance. It is a crowd pleasing fragrance, and it is a great, great performer. I didn't mention performance on the Adidas fragrances. They're okay. I mean, they're about what you would expect for a $7.99 Adidas fragrance. You're going to get about an hour and a half of projection, 3 to 5 hours of longevity, depending on your skin. Again, not horrible, but not groundbreaking either. So it just depends on you, your body, your skin, if you spray on clothes, and you know, all that other stuff. But to this one is a decent performer at all. I get about 2 hours of longevity out of this one, maybe more. I'm sorry, about 2 hours of projection, maybe more, with 6 to 7 hours of longevity, and it's a banger. Smells good for $13, just hard pressed. Me and Cheap was talking last night, and we were talking about the evolution of fragrances and the evolution of cheapies and how they just smell different now. And you know, everybody's stepping their game up with fragrances. Like we were talking about Axe body spray, and we were talking about I think it's vanilla and woods or something that, you know, smells great. It doesn't smell like a body spray. It smells like a cologne. And how back in the day, you know, a lot of body sprays just smelled like chemical mess. Well, everything has stepped its game up and just smells better. And speaking of stepping their game up for a cheapie, from the house of Karen Lowe, Pure, you have Pure Red. And what this is a clone. Not necessarily in the opening, but in the dry down. It's Polo Red or Polo Red Extreme. I can't remember which one. But I have a sample, and I sprayed it on. In the beginning, they were different, but the dry down, they were spot on. And I wish I could remember if it was Polo Red or Polo Red Extreme. I want to say it was just Polo Red, though. And I think this is a clone of it. The openings, they are different and not very similar. But once you get to the mid and the dry down, you have a fragrance that smells a lot like Polo Red, with honestly better performance. Now this is a great smelling fragrance, especially for $12.99 or $12.99 to $13, and you can pick this up. And there's several from the Pure line that smell good. The only reason that I haven't purchased others is because they smell they're clones, and they all smell very similar to other fragrances that I either already have or already have a clone of, which is why I chose this one, because I don't have Polo Red. I have a sample, but I don't actually have Polo Red, so I chose this one to get. And it is a great smelling fragrance. I could definitely see this being worn by a younger person, especially on a cool night. It's very sweet. I wouldn't necessarily wear this in the heat because I think it's so sweet that it might get away from you, but it's definitely a sweet fragrance. And I could easily see a young guy wearing this and really enjoying it, and his friends and his girlfriends or whatever really enjoying this fragrance because it is a little youthful. But for, is this 100 ml? Man, they write stuff on these bottles so small. No, yeah, it's 100 ml, 3.4 ounce. For 3.4 ounce for $13 to smell the way that it smells. Yeah, that smells good. And I've smelled several from this house, like Gold, and then there's one, I think Ocean something, Ocean Vibe or something. There's another one called Vibe. They all smell really good, but again, they all smelled like something that I had, so I passed on them. But that's a great one. And this is a perfect example of a cheap, inexpensive fragrance that smells good and that will garner you as many compliments as anything that you can put on, just to be 100% honest with you. We get caught up in this name game sometime, and we shouldn't. We shouldn't get caught up in the name game. We should wear fragrances that we like. But yeah, me and Cheapo was talking, and we were talking about how, and for those of you who don't, I just think everybody know who Cheapo is. Mr. Cheap Scent, I call him Cheapo Depot. That's my homeboy. We talk sometime, man, for 2 or 3 hours when we get on the phone. Another one that is, I guess, made directly for TJ Maxx, and it is Azul. And this is another bluey type fragrance. It is a blue type fragrance, but it's $12 or $13, and that smells really nice. Yes, for the 100 ml, and in my opinion, if you're looking for a poor man's Bleu de Chanel, look no further. This is it. This is it. And I'm not sure whether it smells like I want to say it smells like the EDP. because there is a difference in the EDT and the EDP. I think this is attempting to clone Blue de Chanel's EDP. And I like it. It's a good smelling fragrance. I was pleasantly surprised when I smelled that, and honestly, the performance on it is pretty doggone good for what you get. And again, I understand that fragrances like this aren't for everybody, but if you're the type of guy who likes to keep money in your pocket and is like, you know what, I like Blue de Chanel, but I'm not going to pay $150 for a bottle of Blue, then, you know, I'm going to find something else. That smells good. Yeah, that's Blue de, this is a, and again, these aren't carbon copies, but they're going to put you in the wheelhouse. They're going to get you where you need to be. They're going to get you on in that lane, you know. I'm spray it in the ass, see if it, it's better off the texture, off the paper. Yeah. Poor man's Blue de Chanel Azul. If you run across this one and you're looking for that, I think this would be a good one to pick up. And again, to me, all of these would be great fragrances for beginners, or great fragrances to leave in your car, or just, you know, just to wear around the house on lazy days doing nothing. I think all of them would hit that spot and be just fine. Now, I'm going to change it up just a little bit. I'm going to spray on one that needs no introduction. And this, I always butcher this name. Hana for him, the EDP. And I like this fragrance as well. This may be the most expensive one out of the entire group. And it, to me, is nice. This is just a nice fragrance. I like that smell. Very modern. You'd be hard pressed. Now this is one that you would have to, I've seen this at Nordstrom's rack for the 50 ml for $19.99. So it's barely under 20, but I think you can get it at fragrance.net for $17.99. So it'll be a little over 20 with shipping and taxes, but if you throw in the buggy, and it's just, to me, I always say it smells like gasoline, and I guess it's violet leaf. I didn't look at the notes, but that's what I pick up on it. Just a nice, well-blended, well-rounded fragrance. Very hard-pressed to find a better fragrance for $20. I mean, I would stack this bad boy up against the Insurrection Pures, the Insurrection Pure 2, the Insurrection Wild, Insurrection Dark. I would. It's that quality, that caliber of a fragrance. You know, you get a little more juice in those for $22, $23, but man, that smells good. Very mature, very bad boyish. You know, for a cologne, it starts out with the name Hana. You wouldn't expect a bad boy vibe from it, but that's what I get from this. I get a very just bad boy vibe, man. Definitely worth the $19 or $20 that you'll pay for that. And like I said, I've seen it at places like Nordstrom's rack for $19.99, and I definitely think it's worth that. This was sent to me by a subscriber, and when I finish this off, I'm gonna go pick up me a bottle and add it back in my collection. It smells good, man. That smells real, real nice. Hard pressed to find a better smelling cologne in that $20 range. I'm just saying, that's just my opinion. Very versatile, great fall date night fragrance, or spring, you know, because you still have those cool nights in the spring. Definitely could see that being worn on a cool spring night or a cool spring day. I think that could rock out either way. All right, going back to the extreme cheapies, and this is Playboy Endless Night. Again, a lot of the Playboy line to me smells a lot generic, a lot dated, but some of these still smell pretty modern, and it's probably because they're cloning popular fragrances. This one to me has, right off the bat, has a very bubblegummy type of vibe. So I'm not sure what they were going for with this one. Maybe a little 1 million-ish, but not spicy. A little bit fruity, a little bit playful. Definitely a good smelling fragrance for what you're going to pay for it and the performance that you're going to get. I like it. I think it's an easy wear. I think this is a club fragrance. Easy, you know, one of those wintertime, nighttime outs are just attention-grabbing fragrances. It's very strong, very potent. And this is Endless Night. And it does smell pretty good. I will admit, this is a pretty good smelling fragrance. I must say so myself. Put it in the air. And this is one I could easily see, you buying and leaving in your car, for a case of emergencies, and you just, need something to spray on, and you left the house too fast, and you just want to grab something that smells good. But this is easily it, man. And again, you're talking about that $5.99 to $7.99 price range, where, how can you go wrong with that? That's nice. That's nice. The thing about these cheapies, these inexpensive frags like this, you gotta let them dry down. You can't spray it and then go, is you gonna burn your nose hairs? I mean, it's a great way to trim your nose hairs without burn up your mustache. Give them a second. Give them a second. They're what they are. They're inexpensive fragrances, but some of these are definitely still worth buying. And all of these that I'm mentioning to you, in my opinion, are definitely still worth the $5 to $20 that you're gonna pay for them. And that's just me. All right, one more from the house of Playboy. And this is VIP, and this is a gourmand type of fragrance. If you're looking for something gourmandish, syrupy, sweet, kind of like Michael Jordan Legend. Yeah, candy sweet, definitely. I think this is better for a winter's night, or a cool winter's day, or a cool spring day type of fragrance. I don't particularly think you should wear sweet fragrances like this during the day. Now you can, during the summer, warmer weather, you can, but you got to tone down on your sprays and be careful, because these will turn very, very quickly into just chemical mess. And I'm going to tell you another thing while I'm on the subject of it. A lot of the reason that these colognes don't smell the way that they should is because we ain't wearing them properly. We ain't wearing them properly, and we ain't wearing them in the right seasons. If you wear, like, example, Bentley for Men, Intense, great smelling fragrance. You can't wear that on a 90-degree day. It's not gonna work right. It's not. It's not. The breakdown and the note breakdown and the notes in it, it's a cool weather fragrance. You can wear it on a 100-degree day, but I wouldn't advise it. It's gonna get away from you. I don't think it was designed or made to be worn on days like that. I think it was made to be worn in cooler weather, and some of these fragrances are too. Wearing this on a 90-degree day, I wouldn't do it. Me personally just wouldn't do it, because I could easily see that getting away from you. And I like my gourmands in the cool. That's just me. Last but not least is one that's probably the newest, because I haven't bought a lot of fragrances this year. I just haven't. Part of that is because there hasn't been really anything out there, and the other part of it is because when you have as many fragrances as I do, and I honestly need to weed through some of my fragrances, I would actually like to sell off some just to make room and put a little cash in my pocket to buy other stuff, because you can only have so many cheapies. And I'm a fan of inexpensive fragrances, but it comes a point in time where you look around and that's all your collection is, and you've got like, okay, some of these I don't even want to wear anymore because I don't like the way they smell. Some of them you just, whatever. But again, I digress, because a lot of them are still worth wearing and still worth buying. And the last one that we're going to talk about is one of the last purchases that I've made, and it smells really, really good. And it's Victory Intense by Lomani. And this is another cologne. Ooh, let me throw that down there hard, y'all. Definitely a clone, and it puts me in the mind of, again, something from the line of Invictus, from that Invictus line. I sprayed it. Yeah, it smells so good. And I'll tell you, when I bought this one, it was out of the box, and I was looking around at Marshall's. That smells nice. And I saw it, and at first it didn't catch my mind. It didn't catch my eye that it was by Lomani. So I sprayed it a little bit on my hand, and I was just like, kept looking, because I didn't have much of anything. So I kept looking, trying to find a fragrance, and I was like, man, they don't have nothing. And it just kept catching my nose. I was like, that smells really good. I was like, man, you don't need another cheapie. You don't need another cheapie. But And then I just picked it up, and I was like, man, and then I was looking at it, and somebody had sprayed it, so I was like, I'm gonna try to get a discount on this $12.99. That's how cheap I am. So anyway, I was like, I'm not leaving this here. And then I looked, and I was like, oh, this is by Lomani. I was like, I definitely ain't leaving it, because Lomani's a good house. So I was like, I definitely ain't leaving it here for $12.99. No, I'm taking it with me. So I get it, go up to the counter, pay for it, you know, walk out to the car. As soon as I get in the car, my wife says, ooh, did you spray something on? What is that? That smells good. And it was this bad boy right here. Victory Intense. And the Victory spelled different, so that's why I keep looking at it like it is. It's Victory Intense. But it's a great smelling fragrance. You have to excuse me. My nose is itching from smelling all these spraying all these fragrances and smelling them. But yeah, it's. I'm not sure which Invictus this smells like. I think Cheap said it reminded him of Mont Blanc Legend Spirit. It reminds me of something from the House of Invictus. The whole line, the Invictus Aqua, Invictus Intense, and regular Invictus. It reminds me of all of them. So yeah, that's that, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 fragrances. I hope this video didn't take too long, but some of you have said you wish my videos were longer, so here you go. But again, I hope this has been entertaining and helpful to some of you guys, because, you know, let me be the first person to tell you there's nothing wrong with buying inexpensive fragrances, but, you know, there comes a point in time where you have to start being more picky about your inexpensive fragrances, because some are just better made than others. This is a great made inexpensive fragrance. So is this, just a great made inexpensive fragrance. And they're different. Great made inexpensive fragrance. Great made inexpensive fragrances. I mean, these are just, you know, again, great made inexpensive fragrance. Another one. All of these I think were just inexpensive fragrances that were greatly made. And I said they were different. I know this one's a clone, but still a little different. Alright, guys. I hope you stuck through the end. Hope you enjoyed this video. You know what to do. Like, share, and subscribe. If you have any familiarity with these fragrances, be sure to let me know. I'm trying to figure out which one I'm going to rock for the scent of the day is what I'm thinking about now. If you have any familiarity with these fragrances, be sure to let me know. Leave it in the comments down below. I hope everybody's having a wonderful, wonderful Friday and a great getting ready for the weekend. I'm sad about the NCAA tournaments being canceled and all of that, but at the same time, we got to stay safe. So everybody, you know, stay safe. And, you know, we've made a lot of jokes about this coronavirus. I'm hoping one of these kills it, you know, whatever. But everybody stay safe out there. Wash your hands and all this stuff they've been telling us to do since we was in kindergarten. Anyway, take care of yourself, you know. Take care of your loved ones. Hug each other. Love each other. Life is short. Life is short. But anyway, like, share, and subscribe. Keep striving. Keep striving to the top. Inside joke, cheapo. All right, man. Hope everybody's having a great day. Again, until next time, I'm going to jump off here. Like, share, and subscribe. If you have any familiarity with any of these fragrances, be sure to leave it in the comments below. I think I done got a little buzz from all these fragrances up in here, y'all. Just kidding. That's a joke, man. Anyway, like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, guys. Peace.